And complex number is in the form of a plus bi. Okay, it is always in the form of a plus bi. And a is the real part. Okay, the no I part is called the real part. And then the I part is called the imaginary part. Okay, so it always consists of two parts. Okay, but sometimes one part is zero. Okay, and if a is equal to zero, that is the real part is zero, then we will call that number a purely imaginary number. Okay, which means that there is only the I part in that number. That is a purely imaginary number. Okay, but if sometimes when b is equal to zero, then that number becomes just a, no I. Okay, no I at all. Then a will be a real number. That number will be a real number. Okay, if there is no I part. All right. And then we have learned we've learned how to add two complex numbers, subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay, so when it is just one part, multiplying together, adding, subtracting, and so on, and then dividing, then it is just like adding like terms and then subtracting like terms, multiplying terms. But remember that, so there's only one thing you need to remember is that when you have I terms times I terms, then you will get I square. Okay, the I square here. I square. And I square is always changed to -1 for the next step. Okay, so it is always like this. And then we have addition of complex number, just like adding the like terms together. Okay, and we have subtraction, multiplication. Again, when you have multiplication, so normally you will have this type of numbers, I square. Okay, I square. Remember, change it to -1 for the next step. All right, and then we have learned a type of complex number which is called the conjugate. Okay, the conjugate number of a complex number, a plus bi, will be the a minus bi. Okay, which means that this a plus bi times a minus bi will be a pair of complex conjugates or conjugate complex number. Okay, it is very useful when we do the division of complex number or the fraction. Okay, when we have I terms, in the denominator, it is not allowed in the answer. So we need to simplify the fraction until there is no I term in the denominator. By multiplying, if it is a plus bi, then we will multiply the a minus bi over a minus bi. Okay, if it is originally a minus bi, then we will multiply the a plus bi over a plus bi. So just multiply the other half. Okay, so we have one pair of conjugate pair. If we have a, then we multiply the b. If we have b, we multiply the a. All right. Okay, and finally, we have learned a concept of equality of complex number. So what can we say about two equal complex numbers? Is that their real parts will be exactly equal. Okay, and then their imaginary parts will also be exactly equal. All right, so that is like this. Okay, so we can compare the like terms from both sides of the equations. Okay, and today in the first lesson, I would like you to do a lot of classworks, a lot of calculations, okay, about the operations of complex numbers, okay, about what we have learned in the last few days about complex numbers, about I numbers, okay. So this is from your textbook, supplementary exercise 1 on page 29. So please try to do the 23, 25, 26 to 34, okay. So I will give you half an hour to do this. And then please remember to submit to the MathApp web system. Okay, so username will be your student number. And then password will be LKL plus your student number. Okay, so that is like this. So please do the classwork now. Do you have any problems about what we have learned up to now? Okay, so any concept you want me to talk about first? 有冇一啲同學係想我喺某啲 concept 裏係
嗰度23B 我有少少唔識做。
係好23 boy。
係唔該，老 Sir。
你想我講嘅先，定係陣間我陣間會講晒嘅？基本上而家講先係嘛？好啊好啊，你等等啊嚇。
都想知道點解。
OK， 23 boy 係啦嗱，如果你想我講嘅先咧都得嘅，得唔得？咁就出聲就得㗎啦，其實 OK。23 boy， 哦呢個好等我遮住咗其他嘢先啦。OK。4i cubed plus I to the power 13 divided by 3i7. Okay. For this one, so I suggest you to simplify the I powers first. Do you remember that we have a pattern of 4 about the I powers? Okay. I1 is equal to I square is -1, I cube is -I 4 is equal to +1, and then it's repeat and repeat again. Okay, I5, I6, I7, I8, and so on. Okay, you just find that if it is a large power, you just need to find out which term in the pattern it is stopping at. Okay, for example, I cube is -I, so we will change the I cube to be 4 times -I, and then plus I13 嗱呢個咧13次方嘅話咧，咁我哋就數一數，因為佢每4個一個循環㗎嘛，係嘛？咁所以咧我哋數一數13其實係幾多個循環之後嘅停落第幾個 term 嗰度？係咪應該咧3個循環之後就係數咗12次啦，係嘛？數咗12次就係3個循環，咁跟住12之後咧，下一個就係13啦。所以咧，我哋就咁樣即係咁諗啊，1、2、3、4，然之後咧5、6、7、8、9、10、11、12、13，咁就 exactly 咧係變翻做 I1 嘅，應該係嘛 ？OK， so this I just I，and then how about I7？So the I7, again, we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It should be stopping at the I cube term in the pattern, okay? But I cube is actually equal to -I. So it is -I, okay? And then you just simplify. So it's -4i plus I divided by -3i. And then the -4i plus I is a pair of like terms. So you can simplify the like term first. Okay, so -x plus 1x becomes -3x. So -4i plus 1i becomes -3i. And then divided by -3i. Oh, they are exactly the same. Exactly the same. So up and down will be cancelled by each other. So what is remaining is just equal to 1. So that is the answer of part B. Is it okay? 得唔得？了解唔到大家？
跟到啦，唔該老 Sir。
Okay, good, good。
老 Sir，
係。
我想問下24C 咧，佢點 explain 啊
？24C，好啊，等陣先啊。
Thanks。
咁我 clear 咗個 board 先得唔得？有冇同學未得？
有，第一陣，俾多30秒，唔該晒。
OK， 好，稍等啊。 24。
係知佢係 real number，但係唔知點樣寫出嚟咯。即係
明。
佢係要解釋啊嘛。
我明你講咩啦。嗱，其實呢個咧，其實咧，我哋咪4個一個 pattern 啊，我哋都要用翻4個一個 pattern 啊。OK， 然之後咧，嗱，你應該諗到，但係唔識寫係嘛 ？OK， 得我刷啦。你應該諗到，但係可能未識寫咁樣都唔定嘅。OK， 咁咧我係咁樣樣啊。C 嗰度啦，係嘛？I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4 is equal to I plus -1 plus -I plus 1. Okay, and that is exactly equal to 0. Can you see this? Okay, so if you add the 4 terms in the pattern together, that will be completely equal to 0. And if you just count the second loop, second cycle, I5 plus I6 plus I7 plus I8, you will know that I5 will be changed to I1. That is I, and then I6 is exactly the same as I2, okay? And then I7 is I3. I8 is I4, that's 1, okay? And that is also equal to 0, okay? So if you have a consecutive 4 terms of the consecutive 4 powers, then the sum of them will always be equal to 0. OK， 即係連續4個次方 I 嘅次方加埋嘅話咧，就會變0嘅，係嘛？得唔得 ？OK， 即係 I 9至12都係變0啦。OK， 咁所以咧，其實咧，你點寫呢度？我哋咁樣喎。So I plus I square plus I cube plus I 4K。最尾呢一個咧 4K 次方。係咪即係4？嗱 4K 嘅意思咧，即係4的倍數咁解。Okay, so if there is a number which can be written as 4 times k, okay, for example, 8 is equal to 4 times 2, okay, or 100 is equal to 4 times 25. So they are multiples of 4. Okay, if a number which can be written as 4 times k, then it is a multiple of 4. So what you really need to notice is that this is a multiple of 4， 即係4嘅倍數咁解啊。OK， 4嘅倍數。好啦，咁4嘅倍數即係點啊？即係個 pattern 咧，我哋停喺4嘅倍數嗰度嘅話咧，係咪啱啱好 form 到咁多個 loop 啊，咁多個 cycle 啊？唔會話 form 完咁多個 cycle 之後，仲有一個 term 剩咁樣嘅。OK， 咁嘅時候咧，我哋就咁樣啦。我係咁寫啊。So I1 plus I2 plus I3 plus I4。話俾人聽，我哋識得咁樣去4個一組咁樣 group 埋一齊嘅。OK，I5 plus I6 plus I7 plus I8， and then dot dot dot。好啦，最尾嗰4個應該係點樣咧？我應該係咁樣 I4K minus 3 plus I4K minus 2 plus I4K minus 1 plus I4K. Okay? This also forms a pattern, okay, a group of 4, where the sum of them is equal to 0, okay, which means that it is 0 plus 0 plus so many 0 adding together, and then of course the sum of them is equal to 0, and 0 is equal to 0 plus 0i, so it is a real number, okay, which is a real number. That is the answer, okay, so that is so-called the explanation. 嗱，記住喺數學裏邊咧，佢叫你 explain your answer 嗰啲咧， 你唔好喺度同我寫 essay 啊，作篇文落去咁樣喎。OK 啊，即係一定咧就係用一啲計算去到證明一啲嘢出嚟，咁你就為之 explain your answer 嘅，唔係叫你作文嘅，得唔得 ？OK， 你計到佢係零嘅話咧，佢就係一個 real number 啦。OK， 你計到佢可能剩翻啲 I term 喺度嘅話咧，咁佢就唔係一個 real number 啦。咁就係咁樣嘅啫。OK，good。Okay, so now please do the classwork。等我 set 個時間先啊。頭先話俾半個鐘頭喎，係嘛？半個鐘頭，咁我頭先當係11:10開始做啦。先啊。好，俾半個鐘頭你做，咁啊盡做，未必做得晒嘅，咁但係做咗嘅話咧，我都開始講咗先咁樣，好唔 OK？即係我會由頭即係由先去由23題開始講嘅咁樣。Can I clear the board? Anyone is not ready for the board? 如果你做到即係有啲題目想我講咗先嘅話咧，咁就即係唔使客氣啊。咁你就喺度你可以喺私聊或者群聊或者係開咪話俾我聽，你想講邊題先嘅，咁樣都得嘅。OK。Okay, so some students asked me to talk about question number 23 part D. Okay, so let me talk about question 23 part D first. Okay, so it's square root of -5 plus square root of -20 plus a minus square root of -45. Okay. 嗱呢度咧，可能有一個技巧咧，我哋之前嗰啲題目咧係未遇過嘅，咁就睇下你哋有冇印象，應該即係細個初中嘅時候咧都有學過嘅 ，OK， 咁但係未必好為意係會咁樣做嘅，就係化簡啲開方嗰啲，應該 Form 2學嘅，係啦，冇錯。This one, the first step should be like this, okay, to handle the square root of negative number. Okay, so we always separate the positive number and the negative one inside the square root. Okay, and then this square root 5 times square root -1 plus square root 20 times square root of -1 minus square root 45 times square root -1. And then we will change the square root -1 to be I. So it's square root 5i plus square root 20i minus square root 45i. Okay, and now they are like terms, but you need to simplify the third form first, the square root term. Okay, 5 is a prime number. It cannot be broken down. Okay, so it is square root 5i. No change for the first term. 如果係質數嘅話咧，其實就唔需要再化簡啦，冇得再化簡嘅。但係咧20，我哋就用短除嚟到化簡，記唔記得啊？呢啲 OK Form 2學過嘅。We use the method of short division, and then we need to find some number to divide 20. Okay, if it is an even number, we always start with the 2. 一定係由細啲嘅質數咧開始。我哋想將20咧係打散佢，打到最散，即係一紮質數乘埋一齊咁樣嘅。Okay, the 20 divided by 2 is 10. Okay, and then the next round is still an even number, so it is divided by 2 again. Okay, and then it is 5, and 5 is already prime number. Okay, so we may stop here, and the 20 is equal to 2 times 2 times 5, or just 2 square times 5. Okay, 2 square times 5, which means that square root of 20 is equal to square root of 2 square times 5. Okay, and you know that if there is a pair of factor inside the square root, it can be escaped from the square root. OK， 係咪？任何咧喺開方符號裏邊，如果有2次嘅話咧，一 pair 一 pair 咁樣嘅話咧，就可以逃走出去個開方外邊啦。呢度咧係咪有個2咧？呢個2嘅係有2次方嘅係咪？呢個2係2次方嚟嘅。OK， 咁嘅時候咧，我哋就可以將佢變咗做一 pair，咁就出咗一個開方外邊。但係個5咧係得1次方嘅喎。OK， 單身嗰啲咧就要留翻喺個開方裏邊。可以有一對嘅話咧，就可以逃走出去開方外邊，得唔得 ？OK， 如果有4次方嘅話咧，咪走咗2次出去咁樣咯，得唔得？即係走咗2 pair 出去，就喺出邊咧就變咗2次啦。OK， 如果本身有10次方喺開方裏邊嘅，即係有5 pair 啦，5 pair 嘅話咧，出咗去嘅話咧就係2嘅5次方咁樣啦，如此類推。OK， so this is square root 20 becomes 2 times root 5 times I. Okay, and 45 is also the same. We use the short division to break down 45. Okay, but it is an odd number, so we start from number 3. Okay, 45 divided by 3 is 15, and then 15 can also be broken down. Divided by 3 is 5. Okay, but 5 is already a prime number, so we may stop here, which means that 45 is equal to 3 square times 5. Okay, 3 square times 5. And square root 45 is equal to square root of 3 square times 5. But we know that 3 has a square here, so it forms one pair, which means that we can escape from the square root. Okay, it's 3. And then the root 5 is left inside the square root. Okay, which means that it is minus 3 root 5 times I. Okay, and now we can add the numbers together. We can calculate the numbers. Okay, square root 5i plus 2 square root 5i. This becomes, or maybe I do it like this. If I take out the I terms, it becomes square root 5 plus 2 root 5 minus 3 root 5 I, right? But square root 5 plus 2 root 5 minus 3 root 5 is exactly equal to 0, 0i, okay? So 0 times I becomes 0. So that is the answer. It's okay? So that is how we can simplify this thing, okay? 好，請問呢個23D 呢一個 short 呢個我想你俾個反應我 ，OK？係關於短除法。If you are okay for the method of short division, please give me a like or a clap, please. OK? If you are okay for the short division， 如果你短除法呢一度係 OK 嘅話咧，可唔可以俾一個 like 我，或者俾一個 clap 我？如果唔 OK 嘅，俾個舉手我；唔 OK 嘅話，俾個舉手我啊！短除法呢度，因為咧我哋見到啲開方數字嘅話咧，我哋一定要將佢打散咗先嘅，得唔得？打到去即係一個好細嘅質數嘅次方乘下一個質數嘅次方咁樣樣，而且嚟推。OK, good。好，咁我哋繼續咯喎。Can I clear the board? Anyone is not ready for the board? So I'm going to clear the board. Okay, some students asked me to talk about number 26. 26. Okay. I talk about 26B first. Okay, 26B. Maybe like this. Let me see. Great. Okay, so we need to simplify this expression and express the answers in the form of a plus bi. Okay, so what is not allowed here is that there is a 1 plus ki in the denominator. Okay, so there's a fraction with an I terms in the denominator, which should be simplified. Okay, and the method of simplifying this will be multiplying its conjugates. Okay, so it is in the form of a plus bi. So we are going to multiply by a minus bi over a minus bi. Okay, there is 1 minus ki. And then this plus k minus 6i will be just unchanged, just copied. Okay, and then we really multiply the two fractions together, top times top, bottom times bottom. Okay, it becomes 1 plus k square I times 1 minus ki over 1 plus ki times 1 minus ki. Okay, and then plus k minus 6i is no change. Okay， 嗱呢度留意一樣嘢咧，就係咧，呢一個 term 呢個1加 k square 乘 i 咧，可以唔需要拆入去住都得嘅。OK， 唔需要拆括號嘅，因為呢個係一個即係成個 term 嚟嘅，我哋可以當佢係成個 term 咁樣睇都得，即係一個 imaginary part 嚟嘅，係嘛 ？OK，all right，好啦，跟住咧。And then we really need to multiply this I term to the 1 and the I terms, okay? So it becomes 1 plus k square I, and then minus 1 plus k square I times times ki, okay? And then for the lower part, it is a square minus b square, and then plus k minus 6i, like this. Okay, and then for next part, for the first term in the numerator, it is 1 plus k squared times I, no change. And then for second one, we just multiply this. Okay, this is a k times 1 minus k squared times I squared, right? And then for denominator, it is 1 squared is 1 minus k squared I squared plus k minus 6i. Okay, and then when we see I squared, we will change it to -1. Okay, so it is 1 plus k squared times I, but this -1, this becomes -1 and will be cancelled by this minus. Minus negative becomes plus k times 1 minus k squared. Okay, and then this becomes 1 plus k squared. Okay, and then plus k minus 6i. Okay. Sorry, 我抄錯咗嘢 sorry. It should be 1 plus k square. This should be 1 plus k square. 1 plus k square. Yes, thank you. Okay, and then this is the imaginary part. This is the real part. And there's a fraction here. We need to split the fraction into two parts. That is 1 plus k square times I over 1 plus k square. And then plus k times 1 plus k square over 1 plus k square. and then plus k minus 6i. Okay, and then you are happy to see this because this 1 plus k squared and 1 plus k squared can be cancelled by each other. So what is remaining in the first term is just I, and then plus. And then for the second term, you are also happy to see this because the 1 plus k squared are also cancelled by each other. So it is just k. And then I remove the bracket, okay? It's k minus 6i, like this, okay? Finally, the real part is just 2k, and the imaginary part is minus 5i, okay? So that is in the form of a plus bi. 得唔得呢度？
但係我想問下，點解佢第三個 equal 3會轉咗做減 k 括弧1加 k 2？
咁等陣先啊，第三個 equal sign 呢個嗱呢度咧係講緊將呢一個等陣先啊，講將呢一個嘢咧，呢一個嘢拆緊呢一個括號，咁樣乘入去嘅，得唔得？即係第二個等號落去第三個等號啦，我係做咗呢一步嘅喺個分子嗰度。OK， 咁所以咧，我呢度1加 k square 乘 i 乘俾個1嘅話咧，就係得翻呢一個啦，係咪？得翻呢一個啦。OK， 但係1加 k square 1加 k square i 乘俾個 negative ki 咧，乘俾個 negative ki 係咪變咗做咧？我寫個 negative k 喺前面先，然之後個1加 k square 寫喺中間冇拆過嘅，同埋我只不過係將咧個 i 同埋 i 呢兩 i 乘埋一齊，變翻做 i square 咁樣樣。OK， 咁就出咗呢一個啦，係啦，我再跳一步添，即係其實呢個咧，呢一個其實即係呢個嚟嘅啫，係啦，跟住再下一步呢度咧就係呢個啦，呢度跟唔跟到？Okay, good.嗱，慢慢嚟啊！呢啲係即係特別係有未知數嘅題目咧，係幾複雜嘅，我自己覺得。咁啊，小心啲就得㗎啦。Can I see the board? So anyone is not ready for this question, 26B? Let me save this. Okay. Some students asked me to talk about 23C. 23C. Okay, 23C. So we have square root of negative number. So the first step, we need to do this to separate the number with the negative 1. Okay, and then it's 48 times negative 1. And then split into 2 parts, 18 times I. Okay, and then times square root 48 times I. Okay， 好嗱，呢度咧我見到有啲同學咧，即係交出嚟嘅時候咧，我見到佢將個開方18同埋開方48咧嗰兩個數字咧乘埋一齊嘅都得嘅。OK， 咁但係咧如果有一啲嘅方法咧就會再好啲。我哋都係用咧呢個 short division。OK， we know that 18 can be written as 2 times 3 square. Okay, and then times 48. 48 should be let me see. 3 times 4 square. Okay, I. Okay, or 2 to the power 4. Yes. Yes. Okay. And then we will take out the square factor from the square root sign. So it becomes 3 root 2. Wait, there's I square here. 3 root 2 times 2 square root 3. And then this becomes negative 1, right? And then when we want to multiply these numbers together, the number outside the square root is multiplied together. 3 times 2 square is equal to 12. And then the number inside the square root are also multiplied together. It's square root 6. Okay? So it is negative of 12 square root 6. So that is the answer. Can you follow? This is 23C. 23C. So let me save this.好，睇下幾多人交咗先。唔係好多啫喎。嗱，其他同學都可以交住先嘅，不過如果你想一次過交都得嘅 ，OK， 咁就你交住先俾我望一望，我有時間嘅話望一望嘅話咧，咁就即刻見到你哋個別邊個做錯咗嘅話咧，咁我就私聊你咁樣，咁就會學得最好嘅 ，OK。Oh, student asked me to talk about 27B. 27 boy. Let me see. Okay. But I start from part A. Okay, start from part A. We have 1 plus I bracket square, right? Okay, it is equal to A square plus 2AB plus B square. Okay, is 1 plus 2I plus negative 1. Okay, so that should be 2I. Okay, this is part A. And then for part B, we need to simplify 1 plus I to the power 10. 1 plus I to the power 10. Okay, 1 plus I to the power 10 is actually equal to this 1 plus I to the power 2 and then to the power 5. Do you know this? Okay, because of the laws of indexes. 10次方係咪可以寫成咧2次方再5次方啊？根據啲 laws of index。咁點解要寫成2次方再5次方咧？因為我哋喺 A part 裏邊計咗2次方係啲咩嚟㗎嘛，係嘛？咁即係其實咧係咪可以寫成咁樣啊？即係咧 2I to the power 5。OK， So I just change the 1 plus I bracket square to be 2i by using the result of part A. Okay? And now it is much more simplified. And then it is just one term, 2i to the power 5. So the 2 can share the power 5, and the I can also share the power 5. Is it okay? So it becomes 2 to the power 5 times I to the power 5. And then 2 to the power 5 is a number. Then you may use the calculator to help you. It's 32. And I to the power 5 is just power of I. Then we use the pattern of 4 to simplify the I5. I5 will be equal to I1. That is equal to I. Okay? So it is just equal to 32i. That is the answer. 好，得唔得呢度 ？Good。
老 Sir， 我想問咧，而家做晒去到34做晒嘅話，係咪做 MacBook 啊？
係啊，冇錯。之前咧咪有個extra 嗰個㗎，記唔記得？揾到？
我揾到啊！我而家交埋其他嗰啲。
Okay, good. Thank you. 嗱，有冇同學仲係未交到上去 Math App 嗰度㗎 ？OK， 記得交翻喎。如果有啲乜嘢問題嘅，關於個 Math App， 即係 upload 唔到啊嗰樣嘢嘅話咧，唔識用嘅話咧，記得問我啊。哦，原來已經過咗時間啦。OK， 嗱，我問一問大家先，可能未做晒嘅應該。Any students still want me to talk about any part from number 23? Okay. So any students want me to talk about question number 23? And how about 24? And 25? So anyone who wants me to talk about 23, 24, and 25? (23) solution. Okay, 23 solution is 23C. Is this one? Yeah. Can you see this? Okay, good. 24. Okay, 24. Let me see. Yes. 24a, I plus I squared plus I cubed plus I4 is equal to, using the pattern, which should be equal to 0. Okay, and then part B. This is part A. This is part B. I plus I squared plus I cubed plus I14 is equal to I plus I squared plus I cubed plus I4, and then plus I5 plus I6, I7 plus I8, and then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14。點解佢寫到咁長咧？因為可以寫到咁長 ，OK？ 因為咧每4個一組係嘛 ？This one is the first one is equal to 0. We have already found. But 5, 6, 7, 8, because I5 is equal to I1, and then I6 is I2, I7 is I3, I8 is I4. Okay? 9, 10, 11, 12 is also simplified to be I1, I2, I3, and I4. And then I13 is I1, and then I14 is I2. Sorry. Okay, so it should be equal to 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus I plus -1. It should be -1 plus I, like this. Okay, so this is part B. And then for part C, I plus I squared plus I cubed plus I to the power 4k. Okay, so I have talked about this before because 4k is a multiple of 4. Okay, so we may group the terms into like this. I5, I6,嗱，最後4個咧，我哋要諗翻出嚟嘅。最後嗰個係咪 I4k 啊 ？OK， 咁但係之前嗰個咧，倒數翻一個係咪 I4k minus 1？ 我而家要倒數4個喎，係嘛？即係 total 4個。咁跟住咧係咪 4k minus 2？And then it should be I4k minus 1， 得唔得？最後4個就係 4k minus 1、4k minus 2、4k sorry 4k minus 3、4k minus 2、4k minus 1、4k. Okay, but because it is a power of a multiple of 4, so it completes all the cycles， 得唔得？佢即係一路轉，一路數4個一個循環，一個循環，一個循環，數咗好多個循環之後，有冇剩咧？係冇喎，原來。OK， 咁所以其實呢度咧應該全部都係0、0。So the final answer is equal to 0. Okay. So this is question number 24. 24. Let me copy here. Now 24. Okay, any parts from 23 to 25 you want me to talk about? 25題掂唔掂啊？大家25題。因為其實我頭先好似冇叫你做24題喎，好似係嘛？我好似冇叫你做24題。Okay, never mind. Okay, how about 26 and 27? Anyone who want me to talk about 26 and 27? 有冇同學想再講講26或者27題嘅？ How about 28? Have you done 28? 嗱，28題就純粹計數嘅啫，小心啲計就得㗎啦。26 boy. Okay, so I have typed 26 boy is here. Can you see this? Okay, and we need to simplify the denominator because we do not allow an I term in the denominator. Okay, so but how to simplify the fraction with the I term in the denominator? We need to multiply by the conjugates. Okay, 得唔得？即係 A 加 BI 我哋要針對個分母嘅，針對分母。如果佢係 A 加 BI 呢個款嘅話咧，我哋就乘一個 A 減 BI over A 減 BI 俾佢。OK， 好啦，跟住我哋乘咗俾佢之後咧，我哋就真係分子乘分子，分母乘分母咯喎。嗱，其實你見到咧，我一路做落去嘅時候咧，後邊嗰一隻 K 加六 I 咧，完全冇搞過嘅，係嘛？去到臨尾先至搞嘅啫。我而家大部分嘅 step 咧，都係要嚟化簡呢個分數嘅 ，OK？ 即係我哋先知道我哋個 plan 係點樣先，係嘛？分子乘分子，好啦，分母乘分母，我哋睇下分母先啦，分母簡單啲。分母一定係 in a form of A plus BI times A minus BI 嘅 ，A 加 B A 減 B 咁樣嘅，係嘛？咁所以咧就一定係 A square minus B square 用嗰條 identity 去到做嘅 ，OK？ 好啦，分子咧，我哋將呢一個咧1加 K square 乘 I 咧，去到拆後邊呢個括號，拆後邊呢個括號 ，OK？ 1加 K square 乘 I 乘咗1先，就係佢自己啦。然之後1加 K square 乘 I 乘俾個負 KI， 咁就變咗負啦。跟住1加 K square 啦，乘 I 啦，同埋乘 KI 咁樣。OK， 即係呢個 step 咧，只不過係拆括號嘅啫。OK， 好啦，跟住咧前面呢個咧都冇喐到嘅噃，後邊呢度我見到咧有啲嘢可以乘埋一齊嘅。咁嗰個 K 咧擺咗喺前邊，1加 K square 喺中間。I 乘 I 就乘咗埋一齊嘅，變咗 I square。但係 I square 咧，我哋即刻咧就將佢變成負1。咁所以呢度咧係咪乘咗負1啊？咁所以係咪減負1呢度？即係減負嘅話咧，就變翻 double negative， 變翻做 plus 啦呢度。OK， 咁所以真係呢個咧就變咗加翻個 K 乘以1加 K square 喺度嘅。好啦，跟住你見到咧，其實咧我哋可以分拆開嘅噃，即係 imaginary part I over 分母，再加 real part over 分母咁樣。點解咁樣做咧？今次因為我見到咧上下有得約，有着數嘅，我哋就咁樣做啦。係啦，呢度咧又係有着數嘅，有得約嘅。約咗之後咧就得翻一個好簡單嘢啦，係嘛？個 I 加 K， 然之後咧後邊就順便插埋括號咯喎 ，K 減6I。然之後咧 real part 化簡佢，即係冇 I 嘅 part 係咪 K 加 K 就係2K 啦。imaginary part 就化簡佢 I 減6I， 咁就係減5I 啦。OK， 咁樣就係咁樣做出嚟噶啦，得唔得 ？OK。How about 28, 29？ 有冇同學想我講講28、29呢兩題嘅？30、31咧，32咧都應該係簡單嘅。30同31都係簡單嘅。OK， 睇下先。嗱，我見到有啲同學係一題都冇交過嘅，即係何曉晴啊、梁樂妮啦、Serena 啦、黃星柔啦、吳景欣啦、曾嘉琳啦、曾妙儀啦、馬子珊啦、林詠欣啦、葉詠琳啦，有冇啲咩問題㗎？一題都冇交過嘅啲同學。 Okay, maybe I talk about number 32. 32. Okay， 呢題有少少特別嘅啫。咁但係如果你如果你做落嘅話咧，應該咧其實就即係都唔係太難嘅。我就想講講32題，32題啊。OK。So let A and B be non-zero real numbers. If the result of A plus BI times -10 plus 25i is a real number, okay? The result of A plus BI times -10 plus 25i. So let's find the result of A plus BI times -10 plus 25i first, okay? So we just need to expand the bracket. So it's A times -10 plus A times 25i plus BI times -10 plus BI times 25i。咁如果咧即係想穩陣啲嘅話咧，咁你就即係咁樣逐個去乘咁樣係嘛 ？OK， so it should be -10a plus 25a times I minus 10bi and then plus 25bi square, just like this. Okay, and then we see that there is an I square term. Okay, so we will change the I square into -1. Okay, so it's -10a plus 25ai minus 10bi plus 25b times -1. That is minus 25b. And then we will group the real parts together. The real part that is no I part. That is -10a minus 25b. And then we will group the imaginary parts together. It should be 25a minus 10b times I. It's okay? So, but the question tells you that this result is a real number, okay? Because this is a real number. Therefore, the imaginary part should be 0. Okay? Because it is given that the result is a real number. So the imaginary part should be equal to 0. But what is the imaginary part? Okay? It should be 25a minus 10b equal to 0. Okay? This is the imaginary part. Okay? So the question asks you to find the ratio of A to B. The ratio of A to B. You have learned that the ratio of two numbers is actually the fraction, okay, A over B. So we are going to find A over B equal to what? Okay, so 25A is equal to 10B, right? And then we divide the B to the left-hand side and divide the 25 to the right-hand side. A over B is equal to 10 over 25, okay? So, but 10 over 25 is actually equal to 2 over 5, okay? Therefore, the ratio of A to B is equal to the ratio of 2 to 5. And that is the answer. Okay, so this is question number 32. Question number 32. Do you understand? Let me copy and paste here. Okay. Okay, do you have any problems up to now? Okay.好，到呢度有冇問題？If you are so far so good, please give me a like or give me a clap. Okay, if you are so far so good. Okay, please give me a like or a clap, please. 嚟到呢度都仲係 OK 嘅，可唔可以俾個 like 我，俾個反應我，或者俾個拍手掌我？If you are stuck at some places, please raise your hand. 如果你中間有啲都係棘住，唔係好掌握到嘅，可唔可以俾一個舉手我？係啦。Okay. Okay, maybe I stop here first. Okay, and then 嗱，有冇同學對即係仲有啲 concept 第一課嘅 concept 想我再講嘅？如果唔係嘅話咧，我聽日咧就想開始咗第二課先。Okay. So I will start chapter 2 tomorrow. Okay. Chapter 1 is very small chapter. Okay. So if you have no problem, you may leave now. That is the end of this lesson. Okay. See you.
老 Sir
係
我有少少唔 get 32後面嗰度咪25減10b 等於0，跟住下面個 step， 其實我少少唔 get 點解25a 等於10b 啊？
哦，嗱，25a 減10b 等於0啊嘛，係咪？咁咪將個10b 加翻過去啫嘛，其實係咪？
哦，
get 唔 get 到啊？嗱，我哋而家咧想即係佢咪叫我求個 A 比 B 嘅個 ratio 嘅，其實 A 比 B 即係叫我哋求 A over B， 係咪 ？A over B， 咁我哋咧就會咁樣做，通常都會咁樣做嘅，即係將 A 個 term 擺埋一邊啦 ，B 個 term 擺喺另外一邊，然之後咧將個 B 咧就除翻過去 A 嘅分母嗰度，然之後楞住 A 嘅數字就除過去對面嗰個數字嘅分母嗰度，咁就係做到一個分數出嚟啦。咁個分數就係個 ratio 嚟㗎啦。
唔該晒。
Okay, good.